two players.
All right, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map as the pink Zerg player, tying it up last game with a nice roach timing attack and really catching his opponent off guard. It is JonnyREcco. Do you know where he got his name from? Is it based off of Starship Troopers?
It is.
It is? Okay. I mean, that's the only thing I know JonnyREcco from. Good book, good movie. And his opponent in the top right-hand corner of the map, as the Red Zerg from Mouse, winning Game 1 in a convincing fashion. Will he be able to bring it back Game 3? Remember, loser is out. This is Protosser.
So Game 1, we saw, obviously, Protosser looking a lot better. JonnyREcco making a misclick and not starting his Spire. That really lost him the game because Protosser had, I believe it was 13 Mutalisks out on the field as JonnyREcco's Spire finished. Never a good spot to be in. Game 2, however, JonnyREcco was like, you make Mutas? I'm just going to rush you with a lot of roaches and kill you. It worked pretty well. It killed off the lair, the spawning pool, and the Spire. JonnyREcco transitioned into some Hydras and just dealt with the 4 Mutas already down. Game 3, are we just going to see it go into a massive Ling Bling war? Are we going to see mutual action? Who knows? But it should be coming out shortly. Currently, both players getting up to 15 supply. Will either of them decide to hatch first, or will we just see a pull first from both? Or maybe one or the other?
You know, ZVZ is the only matchup, really, where you can't predict what's going on based off of player styles. There's no, like, player style right now in ZVZ. It's just you kind of do what you have to. In TBT, you can know that someone prefers going mech all the time. In PvP, you can know someone's fond of Stargate on this map. But in ZVZ, it's... Well, they can do these roach buffs that we just saw JonnyREcco do, or it's going to be Ling Bailing Muta. And, I mean, it's not really... It's a very high-skill cap matchup. I mean, the smallest mistake will make you mess up, so you have to prevent that. So it's not like it's just, you know, this face roll, no skill type thing. But it's very predictable, and it's hard to see, any change in the current metagame anytime soon.
It's really tough as well, just down to the micro proportion of it. It's, as you said, a small misstep, Zoya, with a Zergling or a Baneling group, and you can lose the game there and then. The other thing that's worth noting as well is it's a different game to read, because you've got to keep a lot more subtle things when you scout. You've got to take a look at how many drones are out, what the lava counts look like, are there lava banked up, as opposed to just saying, oh, he's got a robotics bay, I guess there's going to be Colossi soon. It's a bit more subtle, and that's why some players find it so difficult to read it, especially if they're not as familiar with it and haven't played many games there. But as we can see, for the time being, we've just got both players happily droning up, happily getting down their expansions, and both getting actually towards 100 gas. Protosser going over 100 gas now. This is quite interesting, not starting his speed yet, really needs to do that. JonnyREcco is also up to 100 gas now, so both players start speed simultaneously. Protosser could have got that down quite a few seconds earlier.
Yeah, just a little bit of, miscalculation. His mind was elsewhere. Not the end of the world, though. Bailing Nest going down for Protosser at his natural base. Going to do the little wall off with that. No Bailing Nest just yet from JonnyREcco. Looks like he's going to be putting his in his main. He has that drone on patrol, and there we go. Bailing Nest for him as well. So standard openers from both players, not really going outside of the box.
And that's fine, because there's not really much else you can do, unless you go for something super aggressive, like you get a really early speed, you make no drones in your natural and just flood with speedlings. There's not much else you can do other than get the build that these two have done in every game, and going for that sort of super aggressive all-in play in Game 3 of a best-of-3 single elimination for a WCS EU qualifier, that'd be crazy. So these two just wanting to play a bit more straight up. They know they're both very capable players, and therefore we should be seeing some interesting things occurring over the next couple of minutes. The lair getting started out for Protosser exceptionally early. JonnyREcco, no lair yet, getting a spine crawler at the moment, and well, is he going to go for some more aggression with roaches? Is he going to be just going straight up to Mutalisk like Protosser most likely is about to do?
Well, we see the fast life for Protosser, so he's definitely going for the quick meter rush. I mean, it worked last game. It could work again. The Lings get denied from getting into the main base, and he starts his own lair. So his lair is a little bit slower. Take a look at that gas count. Protosser's been mining gas a little bit longer, and he's already got all 4 of his gas built. So he has a huge gas lead. He's got the lair lead. I mean, going into the meter war, he's going to have an initial head start.
He will have a head start yet again, and this is what we saw in Game 1 as well, which allowed him to win it. But JonnyREcco, in difference to Game 2, hasn't really put on any pressure here. But if we take a look at the drone count, we can see that JonnyREcco is behind by 1 there as well. That's something that isn't too great for him, and he needs to really get an advantage somewhere, get ahead in any area of the game if he wants a chance of winning this. Whereas Protosser at the moment, currently his Spire's out so much earlier, his drone count's the same, everything's going in his favor, and JonnyREcco doesn't seem to have anything that's going his way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit behind, and everyone's like, people might be thinking, well, the delayed gas, yes, but he's only about 100 gas behind. If you have a Muta War, guys, and it's 20 Mutas versus 22 Mutas, the guy with 22 Mutas, if upgrades are even, at the end of the fight, you'll have like 6 to 7 Mutalisks left over. Every single bit of gas is important. Muta versus Muta is such a fragile matchup. If you're just missing one Muta, it can be a completely different engagement if you had +1, I mean, or an additional Muta. It's one Muta makes a difference in the smaller numbers.
It does. Now we see JonnyREcco is running in with some speedlings to the third base, and banelings on the way through for Protosser. As long as JonnyREcco spreads them nicely, he shouldn't have too much problems. Will force a cancel of this third. That's a good little win for him there. Delaying that base is obviously very important, but as you said, the Spire out so much sooner for Protosser Zoya. Every Mutalisk really does count. Every single upgrade for those Mutas counts. And also the Zerglings underneath the Muta or Muta battle can make a huge sweeping difference. So this is something that JonnyREcco needs to identify and needs to keep being aggressive to allow himself time to get out Mutalisks.
You know, once you get into the mid-game, it becomes the battle for the third base, and Protosser's taking that really serious. He's delaying his initial Mutas, has 1,000 gas saved up. He's just sending a bunch of links to deny this third base. It's really important, the extra gas you get from it. He's actually not going to get a cancel. The links are going to come for. There's only one baneling here. They get a surround. Will they be able to save this hatchery? It's dipping so low down to 88 health, and it does live. That was a lot invested into Protosser. He delayed his Mutalisk, and he did not get the hatchery.
And not getting that hatchery was a big loss.
Oh wait, but there's a little run by here. There's one baneling. Will the baneling get the connect it needs? It's a nice amount of them. There's no transfusion here though. Will it get the transfusion on the hatchery? It's down to 3 HP and it barely falls. There was 1 energy left on the second queen before it could transfuse. It just barely fell, but the counterattack going to Protosser's third.
That was such a good second run by, and was what I was going to say, Zoe, was being so low on HP, that hatchery was always going to be a big target, but of course JonnyREcco forces the cancel yet again. Mutas are out for Protosser. Rico pulling back, may actually arch around into the natural base depending on how confident he's feeling, but Rico, he's getting his own Mutalisks out as we speak. He's behind by 2, but he's got quite a few queens out as well, which does give you a small defender's advantage. To transfuse will start banking up, both players desperate to secure their third base, but Protosser with more Mutalisks can be more aggressive.
You know, the Muta's flying over here for Protosser. They're not going to be able to do anything. The Muta count's still too high. We have to keep in mind that despite both hatcheries being delayed for such a long time, JonnyREcco lost his. He didn't get a cancel, so Protosser's going to have that additional mineral count, upgrades, +1 carapace, just about to finish for both players. It just kind of turns into this, who can get the better rally, who can get the Muta snipes off, find a place to harass drones, or possibly even deny this third base again. I mean, neither player is at the 11.5 minute mark. Still no third base has been established.
And that is a big problem. JonnyREcco did actually manage to get his down, but of course the getting killed meant there was no cancel, as Protosser has managed to cancel his twice, saving himself obviously quite a few minerals. But JonnyREcco going into the main base, getting quite a few drones here, a couple of Mutalisks getting caught off guard on their lonesome. That just means that, of course, good engagements, great transfuse there from Protosser, means that he keeps that alive. The Muta count currently sitting at 16 to 17. Upgrades are very equal. JonnyREcco with a Zergling run by to the third will knock this hatchery out, and it was not able to get cancelled. That is a big loss for Protosser. JonnyREcco's own third will go down now, and he will take the base advantage.
Yeah, I mean, this is really good for JonnyREcco. If we take a look at that units tab, it's 18 Mutas to 17, so 1 favor of Protosser's. JonnyREcco does have his +1 attack started a little bit quicker. Going to catch these Mutalisks down here, or these Lings down here, going to pick them all off. It looks like only a few are going to get away. JonnyREcco looking pretty solid. Income tab shows 44 to 38, so that's a pretty big deal when it comes to not having your third base. And at this point, Protosser's pretty much all in.
Some Mutas actually in the main base of JonnyREcco. That Spore Caller gets transfused, allowing it to do quite a large amount of damage, and Protosser losing a couple of Mutas there. The third base also about to get Zergling streaming into it as well. JonnyREcco needs to defend this third. If he keeps it up, he's going to be in a great spot.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough hold. It's actually going to be really easy for him, it looks like. He's got so many queens here. I like the fact that he built this many queens. Transfusion's helping out so much. Mutas are flying back in the main base, but JonnyREcco is more prepared. Actually, he's just going to move away at the last second, but gas does fall. Still no third base.
Oh, the Muta fight's going to go down here. And as we can see, currently, JonnyREcco has a lot less Mutas in this engagement, and, well, on the field. The Queen trying to get in to help as well, but JonnyREcco not coming out good in that fight, and that could be a bit of a problem for him. The Muta count currently sitting at 11 to 15 in Rico's favour.
Yeah, just a little bit of missed micro there. You saw some of the Mutas being pulled backwards. A huge Ling buy coming down here for JonnyREcco, though. There are no Lings or Banelings here to defend. Lings are going to go straight in the main base. Can get us around on this Queen. Delaying injects is huge. He's actually going to target fire the Spire at the same time as well and just distract them in the main base. If that Spire goes down, that is huge. The Mutas haven't noticed just yet. There's one Muta starting to beat on those Lings. There's no Queens. There's Lings in the natural base not attacking these Lings that could save the Spire. If the Spire falls, that's going to be horrible, and it does fall. Protosser can't build any more units. His third base is just about to finish up. It's so much more delayed than JonnyREcco's. This is JonnyREcco's opportunity to get a huge Muta lead and potentially end the game.
He could really get ahead now. The inability to produce any more Mutalisks, or as you said, losing that Spire, massive, game-changing. Protosser has to do something massive here, and that's why he's running straight across the map. He's got a lot of Zerglings in production, remaking his Spire, but JonnyREcco, in terms of the Mutalisk count, it is now 19 apiece, but with the Spire still up, he's going to be able to produce more. Upgrades are also in JonnyREcco's favour with 1-1 against 0-1 for Protosser, meaning that obviously the Muta fight will now go in Rico's favour. Protosser trying to come in here, snipes down a Spore, but he knows he's got nothing to do there. GG, well played. JonnyREcco will advance to the next.